Terror Tribe. It's Celia from Let's Talk Terror with Friends. And today we're back with three of my favorite returning guests, Ricky Glore, Nick Hiance, and Eric Hunter. You've heard them here talking about Sweetmeats, Open House, and All Your Friends Are Dead, but now they're back with a duo set of new films, Casually Cool and Truly Trudy. So buckle up because we're talking mermaids, we're talking the Ohio River Valley and surrounding areas, and we're talking what constitutes chili in your region. Let's dive in. Well, hello everyone. Welcome. Thank you for coming to talk to me about Casually Cool. I can't wait to hear about it. But before we get into that, can you guys introduce yourselves and tell me what you guys do in Casually Cool and in real life?
Hi, I'm Ricky Glore. I am one of the co-founders of NKY Films. We've made All Your Friends Are Dead and Sweetmeats that Celia has so graciously supported both films, and I'm
Yes.
assuming watched and enjoyed both films and isn't
Yes, I
just like
did.
continuing on a years long ruse. Um, I am going to be writer, director, and actor in some capacity, but hopefully not as much as previous films for the two projects we're here to talk about today, Casually Cool and eventually Truly Trudy.
And I'm Nick Hiance. I'm also another co-founder of NKY Films with a bunch of ragtag people. We made All Your Friends Are Dead. I'll just reiterate everything that Ricky just said, just in case you've already forgotten. We did Sweetmeats. Celia backed both and loved both projects.
Loved.
And I think as of right now, I'm probably going to be the star of Casually Cool. We're still kind of working out all the contracts and the details, but I do think I will probably debut, and that'll be my first time on screen. So
Oh, okay.
Nick said, based off the Sweetmeats poster that's behind him right now, if you're watching visually and just not listening audio wise, he said, I want to get me some of that appearing twice on a poster action that I got last time. So he's not
Abs
starring.
Absolutely. So I am Eric M. Hunter. I am slowly making my way into NKWay Films, but friends with both Ricky and Hyance for many, many years. I'm a writer, I'm a podcaster, I'm a gamer, I'm all the things in between, hoping to glue all the things for Casually Cool and Truly Trudy.
And Hunter goes back, I mean, for both of us, it's 21 or 22 years now that we have all known each other and have been friends. So our apologies if
Don't worry about it.
if you just don't like if people anybody listening is just like, what the fuck are these assholes like?
We've
It's
been
it's okay.
assholes for a
We've
really
been we've
long
been assholes for a
time.
really long time. We watched each other's hair go gray. Actually, Hunter, you don't have many grays.
Oh, all the gray is up here in the beard,
Hmm.
and I'm slowly getting it up in the hair. I blame my kids.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
do.
I'll
I just
do
blame
it.
my kids.
I blame your kids for my gray too.
I also blame your kids for my gray hair. And Hyatt's, I blame your non-kids for my gray hair. Look at this. Look at this. It's up here.
uh,
That's
Look
it's
at
black,
getting
it.
sir.
thin too.
Look at it.
Okay. Casually Cool. So I read the script, but I'm not going to say anything about it because one, it's been like over a month at this point, so I don't want to get anything wrong.
You also don't know which draft you read.
Oh,
So if
yeah,
it's
exactly.
been a month
Which
from
is a
now, yeah,
Rickyism, right?
Wh-
yeah,
That's a Rickyism.
Whatever one was
What
on
draft
the
did you read?
drive. Whichever
yeah.
one was on the drive, that's the one that I read. But if you guys could give a quick summary of what Casually Cool is about, because it's a crazy, it just starts off crazy.
I'm glad that the preface is it starts off crazy. It is just our version, and I think that's what in KOA Films, as long as people continue to support us and let us do it, we're not going to just stay in the horror genre. We're going to do genres that we really love just watching and would just be like, oh, I would really like to have our genre of said thing. And so Casually Cool is our version of the Rockford Files or Murder, She Wrote, or those like great late 70s, early 80s detective mystery shows, but just done through our lens. Like not like we discussed like, well, how hard do we go? Do we go Naked Gun, which just came out, or like because we love properties like that, or do we just try to do one pretty straightforward, just with our dialogue and our sensibilities and our kind of cast of characters, and see if it sticks. Like see if anybody it digs it. That's how we're gonna film it. And we knew when we came up with this idea for two films in 1 year, we had Truly Trudy, which is a high school coming of age, full blown musical. Pretty auspicious, the most auspicious thing that we've ever put to paper. And one of the things we knew we needed for that was the securing of an actual school, not even necessarily a high school, just something that we could double as a school. And we were really lucky to get Bellevue High School, the superintendent and the principal, which Nick and I took a tour. It's a beautiful facility. It's literally blocks away from me. So them being on board for that movie, we knew that we would need a budget estimate around $40,000 to $50,000, which again, All Your Friends Are Dead was made for under $6,000. Sweetmeats was made for under $22,000. A close, producer of ours, Amy Hasselbrock, who came on for Sweetmeats, she said, "I'm just asking this. Is every project going to triple in budget?" And I said, no. Just the scope of that, like that is what we think we need based off our experience to accurately get on digital. I was going to say celluloid, what we're trying to do. And so knowing that it might take a while to get that budget, which is crazy because I hear people, now I'm talking. Okay,
I make movies now.
I make movies.
I'm over here and making movies.
They're the best movies you
here
have
for the
ever
best
seen.
movies. All the voices.
I hate
are in
that
my
impression.
Head.
I hate it. And they're like, you should ask for $100,000 instead of $10,000. Like ask for 100,000, and then when they're like, no, but I'll give you 10,000, it seems like a win. I'm like, I don't even know to ask. Like, if I asked you, Hunter, for $100,000, what would your honest response be?
No.
Yeah, like not even like entertaining it. And then I was just like, well, what about 10? What about like you rob Peter to pay Paul? Like, what about 10,000? Can I have 10,000?
Well, if you're going to be Peter, so no.
No. So I hear that, but I'm not sure how to do it. So the only way that we could figure it out was we came up with an idea that like, okay, what if we take the first two movies we did and tried to make two movies in a calendar year based off of the kind of structure and the budgets of those. So we'll try to do like a $7,000 to $10,000 movie in the winter, and then we will keep on trying to get our budget for the $40,000 to $50,000 movie for July, which is the perfect time to film at a high school that is not in operation,
right,
which they've agreed to. So that is kind of where we come at with Casually Cool, is a project that we like and that we feel good about, with a cast that we feel good about. Truly Trudy was sent to Gary Kroger of SNL, who I've had connections with over the years. And I specifically told him a part that I thought he could play the cult leader / the principal, be a double cast. And he read it and listened to music, and he was just like, "Yeah, I love this." He's just like,
"Hey, I'm sorry, I gotta interrupt real seriously. Breaking news.
Serious.
Gary Kroger is dead.
Real serious.
Breaking news. So we are going to Tarantino our career. I just want to let you guys know this, that we are only making 10 films, and based on our tripling of budgets every single time, our 10th and final film will be around $118 million. So yes, I am announcing now our 10th film. We are doing a Marvel film. So I'm just letting you all know that further on down. So we're going to be working on 3 and 4 here soon, but 10th is Marvel. So anyway,
here's what I'm going to say.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I hate all of this, but I'm also on board. That's all.
Breaking news.
As long as I get
I
a
hate
check.
all of it, but I'm on board.
Look, breaking news. I just saw it on my phone.
Oh.
I have no breaking news. I apologize. Oh, holy shit. I do have breaking news. We just got our first contribution via Venmo for the movie.
Are we doing this right now? Or
No, I just got it.
I mean, if we're going to talk about breaking news on Let's Talk Terror,
So
we
we now
do it here.
So now you got it. You got the exclusive, Celia.
I got the exclusive.
We just
Probably
got
do
our
it here.
first. You have the exclusive anyway. Like
Yes.
I wasn't kidding. I Instagrammed you and I was just like, thank you so much for supporting what we do. Again, we have no idea. Like stepping outside of the horror realm, for all intents purposes, everything that I've said on a million other podcasts was no one's going to support an Indiegogo. That's not horror. That's not TNA. And we're just like, hey, we're doing a musical and we're doing an old-timey detective show. You want to
But
give us
there's a
some
whole
money?
bunch of people that die in that musical at the very beginning that everybody
true.
seems to forget.
It's very the music. Truly Trudy has the most horror elements. But so Gary Kroger, he would be perfect for those roles for Truly Trudy. But I said to him, I was like, we in the interim, we don't want to wait for something that just isn't going to be. Like we went through that with Open House and we pivoted to Sweetmeats.
I'm still waiting on Open House. It's gonna happen. You guys,
Never gonna happen.
that has to be number 9. Nick, make it happen.
Put your name on the list. I've got like 3 or 4 other people who are also very much interested.
You know, if you
and
think
what
we can
Open
make
House
that,
could be, just what it can be. It doesn't have to be a thing. I just want to know what it's gonna be. What could it
Graphic
be?
novel, animated.
I'll
No,
take
animation
it.
costs way more. What were you going to say, Hiance?
oh, that's a $39 million production, by the way.
Oh,
That's
no.
the
Are
110
you
million.
kidding
That's
me?
the
No.
Marvel movie.
This
The
is
Marvel
a-
movie is Open House. It's
Oh.
just a bunch of Avenger characters.
That's
which
what it is. Yes,
I did see
Okay.
Fantastic Four today, and I loved it. Like I thought it was fantastic. That's fucking stupid.
Fantastic Four.
I almost cried twice while watching it.
Oh, you're such a
Oh,
bitch. Why?
I cry
God,
so
why?
much.
You'll cry over a meme, dude. That means nothing coming from you.
Is
I
it
used
either
to
a
make
dad?
fun of. Yeah, maybe.
Oh.
Maybe that's it. I liked it way more than I did Superman. I didn't dislike Superman. I'm just looking forward to the next one.
Nobody is looking forward to the next Superman movie. Just so you know, nobody cares. It's all bullshit, man. It's all.
Oh, care? Yeah, I would rather make our movies. But yeah, so I asked Gary Kroger. I was just like, look, this is the idea. This is the pitch that we're doing, and we're trying to do like the idea of like we're going to do locally farm sourced Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati area, like all business. Like we're going to get everybody on board for this project, which is 2 movies, 1 year, local crew, micro budgets. They're fucking. I just listened. One of our producers, Riley Bartolomeo, sent me a podcast where they were talking about a producer was on there talking about Willem Dafoe movie that was in Cannes that they don't have distribution for yet, and they're just like, we don't know the state of Hollywood. I'm like, what are you talking about? You talking about your $10 million movie
Oh,
that's in
right.
Cannes? Like, I'm so sorry, but I mean that's whatever. Like, I'm not throwing shit up against the wall to just bitch at people, but this is what we want to do, and we want to see if there's anybody that wants to support us that likes the 2 things that we've previously done to maybe parlay into this bigger, grander thing. We're bringing back Eileen Ernest
Yay.
from Sweetmeats and All Your Friends Are Dead. She is one of the leads in Casually Cool, but she is Trudy and Truly Trudy, which we've done a table read for. We did a table read for Open House. I will send it to you.
Send it
We
to
did
me.
a Zoom. It's enjoyable as hell. But so Timmy Barron is playing. So we're kind of doing like almost like old studio back in the day, like Paramount or MGM, like
Yes.
contract players,
And
where we like
RKO too. Don't forget that.
Arcade, yeah, where we assign Universal, where we assign them to projects. Like, who do we have in our gypsy, our cavalcade? So it's like, well, Timmy would be great as like a Jim Rockford, like just a really suave, just cool dude, who it's kind of effortless. And Eileen is going to be his wife, who is a great emotionally ground kind of ball busting character in that world. And then Eileen's going to be Trudy and Truly Trudy. And then Timmy is going to be her Ducky, if that means anything to
But will
anybody
Timmy
who's
have a
listening.
banana? That's my question.
I'm sure he will.
But you have to put
Look,
it somewhere.
he sold
Somewhere
us.
there has
Yes,
to be one.
he sold us on it in Sweetmeats. I'm sure he'll sell us on where we'll be like, yeah, sure. Or will Eileen have banana? That's the
banana
question.
makes
Yes.
sense.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the banana makes sense. Yep.
So you didn't really answer my question though. What is casually cool about? I
It
love
is,
all that background.
So
but-
I'll let Hunter or Heinz take it from
So
there.
casually cool. The idea is, Ricky mentioned a little bit, which was like taking a Rockville Files and kind of bringing it down. So, with us trying to make an indie film and being indie, all of that means like grabbing all the things that are around us. What can we do that's like we can physically grab? And when we're talking about the story, it's like, yeah, man, we want to make a story that's like just kind of relaxed, and it's a murder mystery, but it's in the middle of like a Rockford Files season 1, but like episode 4 or 5, or it's a murder mystery she wrote like in the halfway film. And the idea is showcasing that, taking an independent film and low budget film and trying to tell a story where you're expecting explosions and all these things, and like it's an action film, but we're pulling it back and we're trying to low rent it. So so we're trying to not only just have a good film that is it's a good murder mystery, and it's the city takes a big characteristic in this film. Like, we don't want to make sure that people understand that we're trying to bring everything back and ground it. We're trying to make people understand that we're trying to make a film that is understanding to multiple levels when it comes to when you're coming to like it's a murder mystery, or if it's a whodunit or anything like that. Like, we want to make a good film when it comes down to
No matter at the end of the day, whether if Rockford takes place in like San Francisco or any of those shows take place in like a glorified, like, oh,
the
this
city
is,
matters.
yeah,
The
this is a
city
nice,
matters.
it's a character, right? It's a character. So we're
I totally get that. Reading the script, it feels down home. Now, I haven't spent too much time in the Ohio River Valley, but it's clear that is like that's a thing. It feels like it's a whole vibe.
well, and that's, I mean, I think Heinz had mentioned it, of even leaning into more of like how we did our first two films, where the first film, All Your Friends Are Dead, similarly with Casually Cool, we are highlighting the area, and it is more autobiographical, not in the story that it is of a mermaid washes up on the Ohio River shore, and it's not a real mermaid, it's a woman in a costume, and she's dead. Which is so funny. So Hiance, when Hunter and I were writing the script, Hiance is like, I'm out unless a woman washes up on the shore at the beginning of the script.
Like, we totally thought
We're like, we already got it.
Like, this is exactly where this is going.
And adding those little weird idiosyncrasies, again, like Eileen Ernest, when she reads anything that we do, like with Casually Cool, or whether it be a script for a project that didn't come to fruition, she's just like, man, you love your blue collar misfits. And I'm like, yeah, I think I do. I think I do embrace that like Joel and Ethan Coen thing of like, well, what's the dialogue that you hear? And like, what are the circumstances and the kind of places that you know? And so it can come out a little bit more honest. So we're using, instead of San Francisco or a big flashy city that might be on one of those older detective shows, we're using the Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati area, and we're using a lot of that as a
local
character.
Talent.
Yeah, I mean, besides local talent, local music, just so many locales.
We're really trying to embrace what it is to be local for Northern Kentucky.
Right.
It just
And Northern
happens
Kentucky
to,
means everything, right?
yeah. You're 20 minutes away from everything in Northern Kentucky. And there's
Yep.
also already this mentality that I think is baked into the characters that hopefully will feel eccentric but lived in, or feel, even if they're comedic, they feel real-ish. There was always this sensibility between Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky that it's like Northern Kentuckians are just like, oh, we don't need to go into Cincinnati. Like, you don't need to go there. Like, you just don't cross that bridge.
So
And
there's that line, right? So
Right.
like when you say you're from Kentucky, it's like Louisville, Lexington, anything below there is
Rarely
Southern.
Southern Cincinnati is mentioned.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for us growing up in Northern Kentucky, which is like every bit of Kentucky and Ohio and Indiana, and there's like a whole loop of a highway. We're just like, oh, we're in Northern Kentucky. It's like, oh, you're from Kentucky? Like, nope, Cincinnati. We're from Cincinnati. Cincinnati.
But
Don't
I think getting to play with that with the characters of just being like, ooh, there's the big bad city, and we're nestled in this like
Yep.
comfortable small town that has everything we need. We don't need to go outside of this. But playing with that, like dropping it in as a movie that is basically a thing they used to do back in the day. They would take 2 TV show episodes that were popular, and they'd release it overseas as a film in
Yep.
foreign markets.
Yeah.
Man from Uncle was big for this, for one of the first ones I knew, with The Spy with My Face. I was just like, well, what if we did that? What if this was a 2-parter, and it was kind of like a pivotal episode? So like they say in series, episodes 1, 3, and maybe 7 or 6 or something. Those are those are the episodes that introduce the crux of what the show will be. So thinking of that as like an episode 3, it was just like, okay, how do we explore these characters that they work within this hour and a half or 85 minutes? Because I kind of want to live in that space.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get to the quick. I want it to move really fast. Because like Hunter was saying, like, if you don't like the humor, if you don't like kind of our absurdist humor, or you don't like us playing in this area with the music, like cutting to a full
Murder
on
mystery might be fun to
Yeah.
see.
So maybe there's something else with it that
We
you
have some fun, dumb things with chili and things like.
I was gonna ask about that. Are chili cook-offs like a thing there? Or is it just
Welcome
like
to
you thought it would be fun?
I've never participated in a chili cook-off. I just know chili in Cincinnati is a big. Actually, Hiance, didn't
I was
you?
gonna say Hiance has.
Didn't you
something
bring
to
like
say.
a crock pot of chili for like an office like contest?
How's that sweetmeats poster you got hanging up behind you?
Yes.
Did you use the sweetest?
I
meat
did the
to win?
lettering for that poster, just so I know. That's all that matters.
What kind of what kind of chili is there in Cincinnati? Is it like hot or is it like a certain kind? Because I know there's different, like barbecue, there's like different chilies all over. So like what kind does Cincinnati have?
So Cincinnati's known for like it's like it's like meat sauce is like what we're known for. Like
A Greek meat sauce.
it's like a cheese coney with like the meat sauce is like what we're famous for. But this is more of like a traditional, like, I don't know, like, how would you describe?
I
the
would
chili
say
in the movie.
So-
meat sauce.
I will. Yeah, a Greek meat sauce. I would say the chili in the movie more represents my experience in like the area with chili, like which comes from my mom. Like it's again, like you mentioned barbecue. Like my mom's barbecue sauce, which is homemade, is very similar to Montgomery Inn, which is famous in our area. So like chili, La Rosa's pizza, and Montgomery Inn ribs. Probably Skyline chili. I'm not picking like Skyline over Gold Star, but if you're picking like the 3 chains, it would be Skyline. They're the most connected with like bigger like sports stuff right now. You have Montgomery Inn ribs, which is very famous locally of just like, oh yeah, that's the best ribs, that's the best barbecue. like having those things again, just that like small town pride. My chili comes from my mom didn't like she used a little bit of cinnamon and chocolate is a big component of Cincinnati chili, but it's usually very thin and the meat's very diced and it's very greasy. My mom would make a chili that was more like a Texas chili, like a
Okay.
meal, where like bigger chunks of meat, maybe some tomato, more beans, maybe some different kinds of kidney beans, like a red or a
Yeah.
light or a dark kidney bean. So then you put it over spaghetti, traditionally. That is the area in which we
That's a
are
whole
known for.
different meal when you put it over noodles.
Oh, really? Oh, I mean, I
Yeah,
don't
for
do it over
me.
noodles anymore.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the chili in the movie is like a traditional, like what you would think like a chili is.
But what is traditional? It's the
That's what
thing.
I'm saying. Like
A
for me,
traditional-
Depends. It
It's like,
depends.
I don't know, like it's got chunks of like tomatoes and like you can
Stop
actually
it.
like
Stop
onion
it.
or green
It's-
peppers.
Stop it. Stop it. No, it's just a meat sauce.
You
No,
see
it's
the
not.
Pandora's box
God.
you opened within our own. Now
That's
there's
all it
dissension
is.
amongst.
It's a
just
meat
a
puree.
meat sauce. No, stop it with the chunks and all the
Look,
bullshit.
that ain't
It's
gonna win
just
in
a
this
meat sauce.
in this
the
contest.
meat sauce. This is the first time I'm hearing most of the details about these movies that we're going to be filming. So I'm just as surprised as everybody else. Okay, so
What's
is
the
the
movie called?
meat- is
Casually Cool.
is this?
Oh,
So
it's
it's
the
not
first
a.
I've heard
it's,
of it.
it's
Oh
not a
shit!
chili cook-off. It's a meat sauce
Oh,
cook-off.
that's meat sauce. It's a meat sauce.
I
Disturbing.
Along with this chili question, I don't remember where I saw it, if it was on like the poster or if it was somewhere in the script, but was that a sweetmeats chili can?
so it's in the script right now. What we're this is like this is the area of stuff that I don't love, but like you have to do is because we are from an area that has a lot of different local chili. Like yeah, we're probably not going to get Skyline or a Gold Star, a bigger chain to have their chili can featured in our film. So I reached out to Lloyd and Michael Hertz and I was just like, could we like legally we can't unless they agree because they own the movie Sweetmeats. But I was like, if we want to have it in universe
Yeah.
that like a Sweetmeats can of chili, like could we do that? And of course Lloyd's like, of course, Ricky, whatever Ricky wants, like give it to Ricky. And Michael Hertz was like, I'll have to look through paper. Like, and then eventually they were like, yeah, you can. So we edited it. So that is the script version you read, which I think is still in there for the script. But smarter than the three of us, and they're not on this podcast, producers were just like, well, if you have local chili places that are smaller, maybe they would pay to have their chili featured in the film. And you don't talk bad about it. Like everybody eats it. Everybody loves it. Like everybody likes it. So it's not like you are saying like, oh, if we use this chili that is local, like you're talking bad about it. They're like, we should see if we can reach out to them for them to pay to have their chili featured in the movie. And I was just like, oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Either option is a good one. Either way, that's a good
I love
Yeah.
dumb in universe stuff. I will view a skewniverse like all day long, like Kevin Smith. Like, yeah, just mention people from other things. But as far as the production side, something Hunter and I have talked about, whether it be the humor and Hiance as well, or the getting money for these projects, like to what end are we willing to bend for the integrity? Hiance is laughing at me.
And I will not give up my artistic integrity. So
I wish you were wearing like a branded
If I
sweatshirt
had to think
right
of
now.
something that costs the most of nothing, it would be
Yeah.
Hiance's.
Integrity. So, but like the things that we've talked about as far as like getting these local businesses involved kind of as sponsors, we're just like, we would love to feature them
Yeah.
and also have their money as long as it doesn't like completely deter away from this dumb story we have.
Right.
Like if we can make it work.
So we're focusing on local. Like, so again, like the whole story revolves around the city of Silver Grove. And if you don't know what Silver Grove is, it's fine. It's like a city that's right by the a side of tracks when there was a train going on. Now there's
The Ohio River goes by
yeah,
it.
like it's
So this is a real
it's
place.
Yeah,
it's a
it's a real
bygone
place.
era.
Oh,
The
shit.
place is a
Okay.
bygone era, unfortunately. But there's so much heart in the city still because like there's still people living there and they're still trying to thrive and they're still trying to create a community and they're still trying to create like school and teach their kids and do a thing. And we're trying to create a film that showcases all the things that we want to showcase as a film, but we also want to be beholden to what the city is.
Right.
Like we
Yeah.
don't want to take away and we don't want to add. We just want to be what the city is because the city plays such an important part to the film. It's such a star of the film. It means so much of it. And it goes back to that whole thing that we're trying to do is like this is a episode 3 of an entirely different show, but we want to bring the heart in. We want to make everybody understand how important all of these characters are, how important the city is in this one episode. And if you watch, you don't. If you do watch,
Or the
great.
what in the one movie, and we are still
Yes.
deciding. Like at the end of the day, it's
We're
not going to come
trying to
until
spin that wheel to bring the bring the advertisers in to just show that everybody that we're just trying to make a good story with what we
Right.
have, and that's what we're doing.
Ricky, what were you going to say?
Nothing. Fuck Ricky. Don't listen
No.
to anything he has
I
to
don't.
say.
I don't need. I don't need to say anything more. No, it was just all that is. I think for most people, they relate to that kind of small town mentality, even if they don't even recognize that they're in a small town. That some of the like anybody who ever saw a teacher like at a grocery store years later, they're just like, oh, they're that person, and like you see them interact. Like I think what's fun like with these characters, I don't think we've ever mentioned this, but it's the closest we've ever done to a Western, and maybe that kind of plays with the small town and like the small law, right, and the authority of a town that is cut off. That works even harder to be like, look, we ain't the big city. We handle shit on our own. I think there's a lot of that going on right now in the United States where it's just like, where are you going? But I mean, but again, I think it's that idea of just like, oh, I know these people. Oh, if a murder happened and they covered it up just to not like get bad press on this small town or whatever, like, yeah, I believe that.
Hiance, you're on that. You're all on board for that.
Yeah. This is exactly what we're trying to portray. No, I think trying to make sure that the city and the atmosphere becomes an equal character is something that we're going to strive for Casually Cool. Just to kind of get you in that mindset. And I love like the Western type of, mentality like that. Yeah, it's a small town. This body washes up on the shore. We're going to figure out what the hell's going on, even though there might be, something larger going on, but we're going to kind of take care of it ourselves.
Yeah, and there might not be any repercussions. Like a big thing like that for a majority of the movie that you're going to watch is you're going to be finding out more and more about these characters that live in this world. Like I said, we have one of the local businesses we're featuring is Pone's Dance Company, who just came on board. Kim Popa, who I graduated in KU with, she has her own dance company now. And one of the scenes in Casually Cool, even though Truly Trudy is more of a full musical, there are more musical elements. There's a whole prom scene. It's a little bit more High School the Musical if we did it. But Casually Cool does have one kind of almost music video dream sequence Xanadu musical number, which again, like if you're watching the movie and within 10 minutes, if you're just like, there's nothing here for me. I don't like the acting. I don't find it funny. Like, I don't like any of this. Like, we already have a full soundtrack produced for Casually Cool that fits in that world. And again, bringing local people in, like White Lighter, who's a local band. They're doing the theme for Truly Trudy. They will appear in both movies and do music, do different songs for each movie. But again, there's just this vibe. Like, one of the things I love about movie making right now is that we can do, or we could do, like Sweetmeats for less than $22,000.
Yeah.
And most people are just like, oh man, it looked like it cost way more. And it's just like, great. I'm so glad. We can make a full soundtrack to a movie and sell a vibe. And like, anybody who is worried about what they could do on kind of what scale, I'm just like, why? Like, why are you worrying right now? You have so many tools at your fingertips of what you could use. Hiance was just telling me the other day, like, what is it, next week that the iPhone is being released that has amazing, like, photo capabilities in filming?
Yeah, so we're recording on the day the new iPhone was announced. And,
Holy shit! Yeah, like I want to hear it.
Yeah.
So they have ProRes RAW capabilities. There's just a lot of exciting, right? The tools that are available now is just amazing. So I don't even know if we kind of like truly mentioned this, but the next calendar year we are going to, our plan right as of now, with the help of a crowdfunding campaign, is to make 2 feature films. So we have 2 feature films out, and we want to make 2 new ones in the next calendar year, and we're kind of bundling them together. And thinking of tools like the iPhone, just about the amazing like video capabilities you can get out of it. We have some chase sequences and some other things we'd like to do. So it's like, oh, you can take this small, tiny little device and put it in places that you normally wouldn't. And even though like generally like an iPhone, you think it's kind of an expensive device, right? When it comes to cameras and stuff, it's the cost of a cheap lens, basically. So not saying that we're the budgets until we get our 10th film. We're not, we don't have the budgets to, break cheap lenses and cameras and things like that. But it is nice to kind of have those cool, like technical capabilities to be able to strap, a camera to a moving vehicle and, get some really cool shots and things like that, where we might have been hesitant before because we got one camera that we're kind of working with. So
we're also building our experience. Like each movie, we're trying to be like
perfectly fine with breaking Hiance's phone. That.
Was that $1,100? Why is
he's
he
not
crying?
wrong. Like the technology advances again and again, and Hiance is very good about being on the forecup of like what's happening and bringing that into the fold. So like again, like. Even if we're doing a thing in the day, as we're doing the thing, like it's constantly changing. We're constantly evolving. We want to be the best that we can possibly be with the assets that we have available. And that comes with technology. And it comes from just like knowing what's going on in the medium right now.
And I think embracing the technology at our budgets. Yeah. There are plenty of people who are just like, well, how can I do this? Like we are fortunate because we've had enough people over our time of doing short films, or the 3 of us working together over 20 years, to hone the stories and the people that we've come across. We are so much in tune with the resources we have, not in a negative way, but just being like, hey, we have this idea and this is what we're going to do. Who can do this? It's a very community theater, which is just like, who can do, can you do this? Can you? And no one asks, yeah, but how is this going to turn out? Like no one ever asks that, whether it's a location that we asked to film in, whether, K&A Printing, who has come on as a producer, Nathan Ward, he was a producer on Sweetmeats as well as yourself, Celia. And he was able to come to the Esquire premiere of Sweetmeats. And he was just like, man, he's like, I just want to do whatever you guys do next. And so he luckily in the Cincinnati area has connections to these different places. Annie Oakley's, which we're going to film as the main bar in Casually Cool, we're getting because we have this connection of someone who believes in what we do, printed off. Not behind me. I'm pointing at the poster behind Hiance. Printed off that poster. The logos that you see in Sweetmeats in the restaurant, those are all printed by K&A Printing. And they did us a solid by donating their printing. This time, he's stepping it up because from All Your Friends Are Dead to Sweetmeats to now, he's just like, well, how can I help more besides the printing? And so he came on as producer. I was just like, that's awesome. That answers that question. If anybody ever has like, well, who will see this? Or how will I get it seen? It's just like, there's one dude who is just like, I've seen what you've done. I want to see what you want to do next. And now we're like, Hiance and Hunter and I would just be like, I don't know how we're going to do this, or this might be stupid. Like, people might not like this. We don't sit on those kind of worries very long because we're just like, just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it and see what happens. I just sent them via Instagram. We talk on so many different platforms. That's one of the things I hate about social media is like, we'll have a text thread, we'll have an IG thread, we'll have a Facebook. Oh, Hiance isn't on Facebook. But I just sent them an Instagram.
What are you guys saying on there? Fill me in real quick.
What are you guys on Facebook?
Everything's sex dick
fuck
and nobody likes
Hiance.
anybody, so fuck everybody. Thanks,
Yeah,
so goodbye.
Backspace. I misspelled
Hashtag
fuck.
Before you
fuck
finish
fuck
your
you.
thought, I had some things like, and if you go out and make a film, I think what we learned on All Your Friends Are Dead, like it's actually kind of
On Tubi.
cheap and accessible to like rent a local theater. Like our independent cinema, I think was it was $4 to $4.50, and I might have that wrong, but it wasn't like an astronomical, like it wasn't like a huge number.
Sure.
It might seem that way, but like you might be able to
Hiance's
get it.
literal quote when we reached out to the Esquire Theater, which is our local art house theater that has 3 theaters in the area that we grew up on, when they came back with that it would cost like $400 and that we would split proceeds or whatever, an amazing deal. Hiance's response to me in the email chain was, if I knew it was this cheap to rent out a movie theater, I'd been doing it. Like everything we made, like every short film, every dumb sketch that we've ever made, I'd just been renting it out and just showing it on a big screen. Because there's nothing better. Like, there is nothing better than seeing this thing. Like, I said this with Sweetmeats and All Your Friends Are Dead. I know Hiance feels differently. But every time I see it on a big screen or like in a theater, I'm just like, holy shit. This thing is up on a theater.
This shit.
Yeah, like a room full of people, like Sweetmeats getting picked up for festivals and different things. I'm just like, man, that is like to go on Letterboxd and be like, you have 2 movies that have more than 2 reviews that aren't people that you know the handles of. Like it's not Hiance with a fake handle being like, this movie is trash. The cinematography is terrible. The sound.
We don't know about that just yet. He could have multiple handles.
So I think the hardest thing that we have in front of us, besides budget, is us being in our own ways of coming up with negatives, of just being like, well, maybe this isn't good. Like, I don't know how to talk about this, or like, like this, and this. We get in our own ways because at the end of the day, if you just Nike, if you just do it, like if we put it all in place like we have before, we have found out that we kind of, and again, Hiance and I have talked about this, numerous interviews where people say it's hard to make a movie. I don't know what they're talking about.
Is it hard to make a movie?
I don't think it is. You can always find a way if you want to.
Right?
Find a way.
And a cohesive, like that's the other thing is like at the end of the day, we've looked at our movies like while we're editing, and we're just like, even while we're filming, we're just like, yeah, this will connect to this, and this is how this will play. And Hiance and I went through a thing with Sweetmeats where he edited the first 20 minutes of the movie, and he's just like, I just don't know where the fuck you're going after this with the footage that we have, with everything that I had before me. And so like I sat and on my phone used the Splice app, and with dummied down footage that he sent me through iCloud, I put together a rough cut, which pretty close to what the end movie is. And then he was just like, oh yeah, there it is. He's like, now let's get to work and let's tighten that up. And it's just like, yeah, like it's weird because when we're filming, and Hunter is going to be part of this too, and it was in Sweetmeats because he's been in both of the movies as well. All Your Friends Are Dead and Sweetmeats. But we'll be on set, and Hunter was part of we did a Kevin Smith 37-hour film challenge, where it was the first time that me, Hiance, Hunter, and our friend Danny Johns have filmed something since our sketch comedy days 20 years ago. And it made the final 10. And like while we were filming it, it was, I think, weirder for Hunter and Danny because they're just like, how is this all going to come together? And we're just like, don't worry, like we'll cut to this.
so
and we'll do
annoyed.
that. Like
I was
again,
so annoyed.
never questioning, will this be good? Like, will this be funny or will
No.
this be entertaining?
It was-
We're trying to.
I told my wife I'm busy for the next 12 hours, so I have things to do. And then trying to make those things happen was what the hard part was.
Yeah.
And one thing I think is really excited about these, like especially like well, tentatively we have our dates set for Casually Cool, our production dates. It's actually going to be the longest production or shoot that we've had for principal photography so far, and it's
the most
smaller
pre-production
scope.
time that we've ever had.
Yeah, it's
We're
kind of a
actually
smaller
spending
scope,
time. Yeah.
kind of a larger scope film though. It's this weird kind of in between. But it's that's what I think I'm most excited about, because like before we really haven't had time to kind of, I would say, like play around on set and like kind of develop things as is. Like we had to like, oh, we have 3 hours, we have to go. So we're still going to be in that mindset. We're still going to have that mentality, but we are going to have a little extra time, a little, and then hopefully, towards the end of the day or towards the end of the shoot, like if there's some big ideas or scope things that we want to be able to tackle or add in that I think we're really going to help the film, we're going to be able to go back and do that this time, which is super exciting for us because like they have a little bit more time. And yeah, that's what I'm kind of really looking forward to. It's just like with the
Turns out
characters
time
on
is
set.
not what we needed. Turns out
B-roll.
time makes it worse. Turns out if we're
Give us
like
the B-roll.
if we're like crack addicts who are just like, I need another hit, like that's who knows.
No.
So,
But yeah, I mean,
well, no, you finish and then I'll go.
no. I got nothing else. I'm
Well, I was
rambling.
going to say, speaking of timing, what's the campaign looking like?
It's so the Indiegogo campaign is again auspiciously setting out, being like, here's what we're doing. And we've got a lot of good support videos, even from Lloyd, who doesn't remember the names of the movies. Look,
He's
we're
got
not
too
making
many to worry about.
we're not making them for him. Why should he? He just
Goodness.
supports us. The campaign is gonna be, our goal is $7,000. It's non-horror. We already played that game. We know that it's hard. We know that it's hard to not say, hey, we're selling TNA.
You say it's non-horror, but I will find a way to make that connection.
I mean, there
Don't
is
you
horror.
worry
Like
about it.
Hunter has already said, like even in Truly Trudy, like there is a zombie sequence.
Yeah.
There's a mass
whole
suicide.
death cult that has a mass suicide.
Like that kicks off Truly Trudy.
And
then
even Ricky was like, are we being a little graphic with this? I was like, I don't have any idea how else to write this. It's everybody's dead. Okay.
well, I mean, that's the inciting action. So like doing an Indiegogo or a crowdfund, there are resources that we had in our other two projects because they are horror adjacent that we might not have access to. So that means like publications or different podcasts. Like luckily you didn't say, well, these aren't horror, I can't talk about them. But we have already had from like Dread Central or Bloody Disgusting being like, I don't know how much we can promote this because it's not horror.
I will find a way. For example, I just posted earlier today something that definitely was not horror at all, but it was made by a bunch of people who normally would do horror movies. So there's always a way.
And that's the thing is like, we're not completely like, we're not just like fuck horror. Like horror is a big part of
fuck them. No,
film-
I think we're
film
in the
that I
fucking
like.
realm. Are we not in the fucking realm? Okay.
But like again, because Sweetmeats didn't catapult us into stardom of just like, well, hey, like we expect you to make something like
what
this
the
next
fuck,
time.
Hiance? You got to do something, man. How are you not catapulting this?
Catapult me. But again, like so the crowd fund is going to be, we're trying to get a lot of local businesses, which will be sponsors and investments outside of the crowd fund. But the crowd fund is going to be a long lasting crowd fund. Sweetmeats crowd fund could still be open. I shut it down because I was like, we made the movie, and there's no reason to keep this open to put money in our pockets for something else or whatever. And so with this is starting with Casually Cool. So the closest thing that I can connect it to is the MST3K Mystery Science Theater Kickstarter, where they had tiers, where they're like, if we get up to this certain amount, you get this. You get X amount of episodes, you get X amount of perks, whatever you
Right.
picked, you get those. So we're doing, our goal is $7,000 because with $7,000, you could get yourself occasionally cool made. For 7,000,
T-shirt.
yeah, you'll get Timmy Barron as the RF
Warmers,
Cool, the
hand
lead.
warmers,
But if we
or
only get
something.
5,000, you get Ricky Glore. Like, that's the payoff. You get a
You
better
don't want
actor if you give
You
more
do
money.
not want Ricky Glore. Trust
I don't.
me.
I don't want that either. But so that's how we're gonna. We're
Doesn't
really.
want it either, Nick.
We are.
Okay,
we are,
so Ricky, what are like how did the levels go? How did the tiers go? Like,
Oh, he has no idea.
How do the
Holy
levels
shit.
go? Thank
He
you
has
so much
no
for
idea.
asking.
Fuck me, dude. Come
Nick
on.
Hiance, Nicholas Hiance, stranger in the audience who asked a question who I do not know previously before today.
No idea.
It goes, you can buy a copy of the movie. The one thing that we've really enjoyed doing, which is a Blu-ray that we can produce through a few different websites, which it's weird that writing a Blu-ray is the hardest thing ever. Like if we had Nick's Sony Vegas computer, like from 2006 or even Prince, but I mean, just like friends of ours, like they could write a Blu-ray or a DVD with those drives in that system. That is a hard thing. Talk about
He
technology.
doesn't understand how this works, so
No.
let's go move on to the next thing.
You can't do that anymore. So we have a website where we can get Blu-rays produced semi-cheaply, and we can put together an exclusive Blu-ray that has maybe some special features that you're not going to get if and when this thing gets distributed. Like Sweetmeats, they're working on an official Troma Blu-ray that will have special features that we are not offering on the Indiegogo one, like the commentary where where Hunter moderated the commentary for that specific Blu-ray. Not going to be anywhere else than unless you got that. So we're doing.
I love that.
Yeah, we're doing the exclusivity of if you're on the ground floor, you get the movie and you're going to get it by this date, which is a thing that like nobody like. People have asked like, well, when's the official Troma Blu-ray coming out, or was it coming on streaming? And I'm like, sometime. I was
But
like,
if
no.
you want to watch
That's-
the
that's a
movie,
Lloyd
you gotta get on the
Yeah.
Blu-ray, and you have to get on the Kickstarter. That's
Get
the
the Blu-ray.
only way if you want to watch the movie 100%.
I am pretty sure that we are going to be able to
Typing
make
away
Casually
as we
Cool with outside investors and the Indiegogo. That is, I think, a for sure. What this is going to really be are you're going to be buying into the NKY films of our genre bending kind of thing. So like the first movie is the detective comedy. The second one is Truly Trudy. So the first tier is going to have Blu-ray offer. It's going to have soundtrack offer. It's going to have probably a poster offer. Anything that we can now manifest and sell and get people excited. Like, oh, you want to be part of this, and you're part of it in the ground level, a producer credit, anything that doesn't take away what we're going to put on screen. Because we don't want to do a crowdfund for money that then we have to put back into producing these perks.
Right.
And so, I mean, that is a hard thing too, and you learn. But the main thing is once we hit that 7,000 just for the Indiegogo for Casually Cool, it's then going to open up an array of perks that are very similar to the Casually Cool perks, but it's going to be Truly Trudy. And those are only going to be guaranteed if we hit a minimum goal of $40,000. Crowdfunding has fees, but again, I fucking hate this part of it. You are buying the movie.
Yeah.
By buying the movie, you are making sure that the movie gets made. So we are like, oh, we want to make this movie because this is what we want to see. If you invest in it by buying
the supporters.
a $60 Blu-ray that you're not going to be able to get anywhere else, like that money alone is going to be to the budget of the film.
Click on the link. If you like what you see, then support. If you don't like what you see,
If you
then
don't like
support.
what you see, don't support Eric Hunter. Support us.
If you don't like what you see, hang out, Nick Hiance, give him $60 and just be like, hey,
just
that's
on the
it.
street.
That's it. I don't want
And
any other,
like,
I don't want any other interaction with you. I'm just gonna give you $60.
Weren't you, like Hunter, Hiance, and I, we were walking from Cincinnati past the Bengals stadium one time, and didn't you find like $40?
And I
Like,
feel like we ate La Rosa's pizza and had Skyline chili, and then we had the argument. I know what you're talking about. This was something completely different.
yeah,
The three of us were walking by Paul Brown Stadium, is where the Bengals play. And I stepped on a thing and I picked it up and I was like, oh, shit, I found $100, $100 in cash. And I gave it to you guys.
you like how I
And
made it 40 in my turn, my telling of it. I'm like,
so, but
60
no,
went in my pocket, 40 went into the movie.
Hiance was just like, all right, that's going to pay for the trailer. And I was like, I'm never talking to you guys in 6 months until I'm a millionaire.
Okay, I'm not sure what they're actually talking about right now, but I do want to mention the perks and things like that, because a lot of times I'll see like crowdfunding campaigns where they're offering a ton of different things like shirts, and I don't have great examples, right? But like,
Yeah, we're not
we might,
shitting on anybody, but it's
Yeah.
sometimes they promise too much.
but we know we want a Blu-ray. We love that. Like, one thing we want to definitely focus on is do some more behind the scenes photography and things like that, and record
Yes.
interviews on set. 'Cause we want to do a making of, like, we want to have a, like, we grew up with the DVDs, right? So like they would be packed of double disc, and you have all these features. You have the commentaries. You have all these, everything that would come on the DVD. So we're like, we want to get to that level, because that's what really excited us about, the new weekly release. We go to Best Buy, you go to Walmart, and you get it, and you have the commentary and all this kind of stuff. Really cool. But like, yeah, we love posters. So we want to like limit the amount of perks that we have, because obviously there is a cost to like producing every single one of those, but like, we want it to be the things that we would genuinely be excited about, and hopefully that that people will watch our first two films, or maybe we get a few more people who are maybe found $100 on the ground, and they're like, you know what, instead of paying down some debt or something like this, let's
I'm
let's
going to buy a
support
movie. I'm going to support a film.
Yeah, instead of giving it to your bookie.
Forget
But
my
not
student
to-
loans. Let me donate this.
Yeah, but not to poo-poo, like the music. We need to talk about the music. The music is fantastic. Like the music is 100% full grade A plus from Ricky Glore, working through his resume of being in theater at Chicago and all of that stuff. Like all of that is also in both of these movies. The soundtrack is so important to both of these movies because it is the heart of how we're trying to make these movies. Because again, with Casually Cool, like we kind of went with a low grade, kind of like low rent, like style of movie. And when it came to Truly Trudy, we were really trying to make that Grease, that huge musical. Like we were trying to make a spectacle for the film, and all of that music came from Ricky Glore.
I have a lot. I mean,
Put your pants
I will
back
take.
on.
I will take the compliments.
Back on.
At the end of the day, I think I sent you, and I think I titled it in the Google Drive, Celia, the Truly Trudy theme. I think I titled it as Final. I found out from them, they're just like, we want to do at least another pass in this. We'll have it to you in a week. Like we really want to make this sound as best as it can. And like, I love giving notes, and I gave notes on their first pass, and like those notes they implemented, and then I'm like listening to it, and I'm just like, come on, guys, like you guys are good. Like, all right, you guys want to do another pass? Like, all right, make it even better. But again, it's we grew up in the '90s with these amazing soundtracks. I feel like we in the 90s getting our CD players in our cars and everything and our big CD books, like soundtracks were such a big thing because we got screwed so many times by the band having one good song, and you spent $12 or $13 at FYE or Best Buy or Media Play, and you got fucked because there was only one good song in that shitty album. But if that one good song happened to be done under the label that was owned by Universal, and they had a movie that they put that one good song with other bands that just have one good song on an album, that was king. And so I think one of the things going into both of these projects that I was ruminating on was just like, I would love to do like how they do it, or they did it back in the 90s in Hollywood, or just like, what if you just curated this soundtrack that wasn't necessarily a musical, but like the songs kind of serve the function of the project, not because we don't have the money to go out and be like, oh, I want that band, or I want that,
Right.
I want that, I want that. But like, what we could do is we could create our own sound and create our own soundtrack. So like listening to the Pretty in Pink soundtrack, it's like, okay, what do they have in there? They have like one rap track. Okay, we should probably have like one rap track. Like just making that full experience. And at our level, those are the tools that we have before us to make it seem like it's something bigger or more grandiose. Or again, like Hunter and Heinz have both mentioned, those pleasure centers of just like why you like certain movies where you're just like, man, that was a good time. And I'm going to go listen to that soundtrack. Like you might not watch the movie 50 times, but how many times have you had soundtrack just playing like fucking Power of Love, like Huey Lewis in the News, just rocking. And every time you hear it, you can't not think of Michael J. Fox holding the back of that truck going into town at the beginning of Back to the Future. Like we want to have those moments.
Yeah, Hiance, how many times have you listened to the Sweetmeats soundtrack?
Huey Lewis. Yeah. Are you
Lewis.
Are you an avid listener to the Sweetmeats soundtrack?
Every day.
On iTunes, on Spotify, on all major
whatever
platforms.
whatever gets your micro penny or whatever it goes to.
Oh, we get nothing. Oh,
well,
sorry,
we
sorry.
Get nothing.
We get nothing. We get nothing. Troma gets all of it. We set it up, but yes, we're not bitching.
Okay, so I want to try to keep this at close to an hour. So, is there any last thing you want to say about Casually Cool, Truly Trudy, anything, Sweetmeats, whatever? This is the time to say it.
Hiance should go first.
Okay, perfect. I think I'm kind of looking at these next two films like our first two films. I feel like the scopes and the stories we want to tell kind of mirror the first two films. So we really want to take what we've got this cast of characters. Eric Hunter stepping up bigger role with the story and things on the next ones. Chris Morris, who's been in our first two projects, and Mike Flincham. We have obviously Eileen and Timmy on screen, like all these people that we've worked with, right? So we really want to do these bigger productions, not only in like scope and in the cost, but to really kind of hone what we've learned and then build upon that. We have a lot of things that we've kind of like stepping stones that we want to get to like make sure that Truly Trudy is great without bypassing or forgetting about Casually Cool. I think they're both going to have unique looks and styles and feels. They're two different genres, right? They're going to be two unique movies, but I really think it's going to help us kind of just like take those next steps. And we want to, like, for me on like the cinematographer side, like I want to like kind of get rid of some of the technical mistakes or the hiccups that we knew we ran into. And that's what the affordance of these this budget is going to allow us, like I said, that little more time on set to make sure that we're getting things right. So when we go into post-production and we're editing, that we have the pieces that really tell the best story we possibly can. So this really excites me is not jumping ahead too far, but like really making sure that we get everything. The pre-production time has been a lot longer than we've ever had. So we're planning this out to make sure that we're going in right. Production's going to be long. And then hopefully that rolls right into post-production on Casually Cool. So we can really, really put together a really cool project in a movie, which I think without knowing all the timelines and things like that, I'm really kind of excited to have like a rough cut of Casually Cool going into Truly, like to kind of help swell and like show everybody, hey, this is what we did, 6 months ago, and here's the next project that we're working on. So I'm real excited about getting back behind the camera, getting the crew back together. It's like going back to band camp, right? Like the band's getting back together. We're gonna do, we did our first two albums. Now we're going to bust out the double live album. So it's going to be super exciting. So,
and our sophomore album didn't suck.
I didn't say we slumped.
I'm saying that's what's good. Like that's what's great is like we only have down to go.
Welcome to every conversation we ever have. Well, the last thing wasn't that bad. Nobody said the last thing was bad. Nobody said that.
I think we should continue doing this. No one has told us to stop.
Ricky, it's your turn.
Okay.
And you have 5 minutes.
I want to turn it back to you, Celia. Like, you have been again a supporter of ours, and you've done the NKY Films movie marathon between the two films. What makes you interested in seeing what we're doing next, based on having listened to some of the music, having read a draft of the script? Like, what that was on the page that you're just like, oh, if this gets filmed based on the things that they both have done, All Your Friends Are Dead and Sweetmeats, like, I'm expecting this and I will be entertained. Like, what about it are you just like, yeah, I'll have these jackals come on and talk for an hour and a half?
Well, I think a part of it is that at this point, I know you guys, so it's like, yeah, of course I want to support you. But I think part of it is also there's always something, whether it be in the movie itself or in this case a script, that I read it or I see it, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? And it's like, it's not a bad thing at all. It's just like there's always something that I wouldn't see anywhere else. I wouldn't see anywhere else. And
I will
think,
say this.
I think you could say that about a lot of indie films, but especially
Yes.
NKY films.
I think what we are embracing is the things that brought us joy, and it's that the quote of just like, would make what you want to see. So like this past weekend we had my dad's birthday, and he does usually a film fest of 10 movies. This year he did his favorite television shows, and one of them was Are You Being Served, which is a British comedy, kind of a bawdy British comedy, not very highbrow. And watching it, I was just like, oh, I am very influenced by this. Like, even down to Miss Slocum, who's a character in the department store. She talks about her pussy quite a bit. She's like, I must get home and feed my pussy. And there's the live studio audience is just like uproarious. And I'm just like, man,
show us your pussy. Show us your
from
pussy.
my experience,
she's right here.
I think that still works, or because that show was in the time that fits similarly in this time. It's that late night, like, ooh, they're saying this, and like, they're talking about, like, there's a lot of things like that where, again, that falls in line of like, well, if you don't like this, maybe you'll like this. And we don't even think of things this way while we're writing it or putting it together. We're literally trying to get everybody on the same page for the vision of what the thing is. And then that might take more time with some people than others. But when we all get on that page, people are just like, oh, I get this. It's this. And like, here's my joke for this. Like, Hiance had this joke that was this runner that Hunter and I were just like, for Casually Cool, that I was just like, I don't know how we're going to do this. It's a really funny joke. I would love to figure it out. And Hunter one day was just like, well, we could do this. And I was just like, yep, you're right. Let's add it to the script, because let's film it. And then let's figure out, like, at the end of the day, like, do we need to get rid of anything? I don't know. Could be that joke. Could not be.
We get rid of nothing.
But yeah, so now I hand the conch over to you, Hunter.
Oh, I have nothing to say. I mean, if I'm going to be honest, at the end of the day, like, to me, this is just a coming of arms. Known you guys for so long, and we've been working lackadaisically for so long that we have the shorthand that has been what the shorthand has been since we've been friends since high school. So, like, for me, coming into NKY Films after two films that's already been produced and made and showcased and all that, there's a lot of intimidation. So, like, for Hiance, like, he's very technical, and I love that. So I'm trying to be super cool about being technical about things. But then with Ricky, he's primarily more about like plot and character development. So it's like, well, I know some things about character development too. And it's just like, and both of them are going to hate this when I say it, because I've said it 1,000 times. There's like, there's plenty of times where like, I don't know where I fit in here. But where I fit in here is where I fit everywhere. Wherever they need me, I'm there for it. Like if Ricky texts me and says, "Hey, we have to do a thing," I was like, "Yeah, I can do a thing." If Hiance is like, "I watched this dumb video," I was like, "Yeah, that's you need to quit watching Friendship. This is the worst movie I've ever seen. Stop watching Friendship. This movie is terrible. There is nothing funny about this movie."
We all went to the theater to see Tim
Nick, you have
Robinson
to
and
stop
Paul Rudd
watching
in
this movie.
Friendship, and Hunter sat next to Hiance and I in between the two of us, and he laughed so hard. He was
The entire
fucking
time.
me slapping the whole time, and then afterwards, like,
Worst
"Oh,
movie I've ever
what a
seen.
terrible movie!" We're just like, "You were
Worst
high.
movie I've ever seen.
Do you want to write a movie with us?"
But it's very interesting because like I come from a novel background. I'm a writer. So like I've got 3 novels written, self-published. But coming into a script and coming into an established a filmmaking group where they have shorthand, they understand what it takes to film a film, and especially Ricky, he understands like how much it takes. And Heinz is like, this is what's going to look at. Like, I have no recollection for any of those things. So when I push back on like story elements, and Heinz is like, well, we can't do that. I'm just like, I mean, can't we? Can we not do that? And he's like, no, because of this and this and this. Fuck, I didn't think.
And
of that.
Heinz sends it up the chain to me. I'm like, "No, we can't do that.
So-
You tell that fool."
But it becomes that thing. It's just like, oh yeah, we forget. Like we can push back and we can argue and do all those things, and then like me, Rick can be like, oh, remember like 6 years ago when we were like walking down
Yeah.
the main street and we're doing a thing, and like, oh yeah, I remember that. And like, hey, Heinz, remember that game that we used to play back in the day? And like, fuck yeah, I remember that game we used to play. Like, yeah, like we're still family, like we're still friends. Like, so when we're doing these things, and as amazing as they sound, and I hear this all the time from all the filmmaking and the books that I read, it's like it's almost impossible to make a movie. It's almost impossible to make
Impossible
a
to
movie.
make a movie that makes sense. That when you're done, that you can put it together and that there is narratively a story, that it works. It's almost impossible. And we're just like, so either we are the luckiest motherfuckers
Yeah.
who did it twice. Like, and I'm not saying or like give us awards. I'm just like, from beginning to end, I think our shit makes sense. Like, I don't think you watch it and you're just, Heinz is like, there's no.
But for me,
You got yourself
like,
twice on a poster.
but for me, walking, yeah, why twice on a poster? Just making sense. I'm on Heinz's flag for that. But just the idea of like walking into, it's like we've done this twice already. What can you bring to the story? What can you
And
bring
then the
to
smartest
us?
thing we can do with a micro budget is again like reaching. We have this shorthand, so if it's the 3 of us, we do have this deep seated history. But what's great about everybody else coming into this
that
third
we'll
project,
never talk about.
we are all. I know what you did last summer. I fucking know. It's a month ago.
2025.
You think I forget?
2025. It's not good.
I'm really excited, like same as like Hyatt said, of kind of this. I never went to summer camp growing up, but like this idea of like when you're the 3 of us all turned 40 this year. Me, Hyatt, or Hyatt is next year technically, but I'm October 9th. Hunter is October 31st.
There's no technical about it. It is next year. So.
It is next year, technically. Technically, it's next. And out of the technical aspects, like we've sent it up the chain, but like I'm sure there is some reason, as I will talk with my therapist about why we're trying to be so auspicious with 2 movies in 1 year. I do think the main reason is I don't want to put all my eggs in the basket of a $40,000 movie, and that's ridiculous to say. When I think we can make this like charming, like fun and interesting movie, like, well, what can we do out of Cincinnati? And it's just like, oh, we can actually do quite a lot, and more people than us give us the accolades of, oh, you did it with that much money, because like we on our end for the most part is just like, yeah, don't get fixated on that. Like, what'd you think of the thing?
Right. Yep.
Any last words? I can put links in the description, so if you don't want to say anything on here, then
I
I have
have
a
the
feeling this has
technology.
gone on way longer than it should have. So, Ricky, finish out for all of us.
I would just say, Celia, why do you think people should give to Casually Cool / Truly Trudy?
Nope. That's not what I asked you to do. That's not what I asked you to do.
People should do that because we need to support indie horror. Because that's really the only way that we're going to get movies that, as you said, that we want to see made. Because a lot of stuff, it's like, man, I can't tell you the amount of times in the past 2 years that I've gone to theaters to see these big budget things, and it's like, this movie was terrible. I spent 13 doll hairs seeing a movie that I
Dole Harris.
hate.
Yes.
I hate.
Gross.
But it's like every single, in that same span, every
Yep.
single indie movie that I have watched is amazing. It's like my new favorite thing. So that's really the that's really the only way that we're gonna get these ideas out there because everyone has ideas in their head. They just need to get them out so everyone else can see them and enjoy. And on top of that, we're kind of getting into this like new era of going back to the horror days of old where physical media is coming back, all these things that
Yep.
you can't see anywhere else unless you
Yep.
like donated to a campaign. They're all coming back, and I love that. So that's
It's the
why
same
I'm
mentality
going.
of those weird releases of like VHSs, like
Yeah.
those big boxes stuff. Like,
Yep.
yeah, there's a lot of that's, I mean, I think the indie boom of film happens about every 25 years if you track it, every 20 years. And I think we are the close to that now. But again, the unanswered question of like, well, what does that look like as far as getting it in front of people's eyeballs? I think that will be the question that will never be answered. So there's no need to ask it when you're thinking about making something. There's no need to ask like who will see this. You know who will see it? Your two other friends
Yeah.
that you made watch it. Like
And sometimes
that's who
that's
will see
enough.
it.
And that's it for this episode of Let's Talk Terror with Friends. I want to say thank you so much to Ricky, Nick, and Eric for talking about Casually Cool and Truly Trudy with me. And for those listening, be sure to check out the description for all of the details. I've written them all down there. Go check it out. For more news, booze, and reviews, you know where to find me, letstalkterror.com. And make sure to like, subscribe, and click that bell notification so you know when I post. And until next time, stay spooky, stay creepy, and stay casually cool.